Man, here we go, man. Black Sox review live, man. We're going to talk a little bit about what transpired over the weekend and where we're at right now, and then how we plan to move forward. So, this is our first episode, and hopefully, we have a lot more. Um, Hold on, I hear some feedback. There we go. But yeah, man. Welcome to the Black Sox, baby.
Yes,
What's
sir.
going
Yes,
on?
sir.
So like first question of what we're gonna talk about a little bit. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of like it's not my first go around in the travel all-star thing. I don't know if it's your guys either, but let's talk a little bit about the atmosphere that was out there over the past weekend. What do you think about the atmosphere that was out there? What you got, Messi?
Talking about atmosphere in terms of the families or
The
the
atmosphere,
park
the
competition.
tournament, yeah, the atmosphere in the tournament. You know, what did you feel from the fans? What did you feel from other parents? What did you feel from the entire experience of the tournament?
I would say the weather played a pretty key factor on Saturday with people falling flat, especially with us playing back to back in the heat of the day. Um, yeah, and then just a little bit of trepidation going into it on Sunday, man. You can feel it in the atmosphere, going back. We've been pencil whooped by the bracket 2 weekends in a row now, where we're not getting to see different people in the bracket. So I would say atmosphere wise, I'd say there's a little bit of trepidation because we're still kind of feeling our way through things, and we uh, hadn't had too many moments to really build on. Just to be honest with you, you know what I mean. I like what I see, um, and I got a lot of faith in what we're doing and where we're going. And just looking at some of the teams that we played and how we played them, the outcomes doesn't reflect what we've done.
No, definitely not.
I
What
can
you got,
answer
Matt?
that.
What do you think about the
Um,
atmosphere of the overall tournament and what the people were giving us?
so I always like Training Legends organizational staff. You know what I mean? I think they do a good job of putting on good tournaments. I do think we got a little bit of just because we had to face the same team back to back, and those were the teams that were seemingly better teams in the tournament. I feel like just by watching what I watched on that championship game and looking at the final score of that championship game, us versus OC Black deserved to beat that game. You know what I mean? So I just unfortunately that wasn't the case for us, but it's okay. I do feel like we have something to build on, but it's more so either we're whooping up on somebody or we're in a tight game. And I think both Saturday and Sunday we had about a 1 inning lapse. Saturday, or it was only 1 inning. Sunday, it was 2 innings that we kind of let things cascade a little bit, and it's just certain little mistakes that you can't make against better teams, especially teams that are equally yoked or might do one thing a little bit better than you. You might do one thing a little bit better than them. Um, you got to play to your strengths. As far as the parents go, I liked the little bit of chippiness. It was just a little chippy. Everything was cool in the beginning. Everything was cool in the end. But during, I like the fact that a team that was probably used to a lot of success or didn't necessarily think they were going to see any competition in this particular tournament in that C bracket, we got them a little nervous, and it showed. You know what I mean? So I love our parents. I just like anything else in life, I'd rather have to tell you to calm down and tell you to hype up. So I like where our parents are. I like the meter that they bring. I like how involved they are. And then just overall, dude, like I said, the Heat played a part with the back-to-backs. Um, we came out a little flat first 2 innings of that game. We got it together and we only allowed more than 2 runs once on Saturday. We only allowed it once on Saturday out of the 10 innings of baseball we played. It just so happened to cost us. You know what I'm saying? The same thing on Sunday. Um, I said I did feel the trepidation, uh, and personally feel like I got out coached. And I look back at
We'll we'll, we'll go we'll go into that.
yeah, I just want to touch on it real quick, but
Yeah, yeah,
personally,
yeah.
kind of moving forward, there's a lot that I learned from this weekend that I want to implement, and just
Moving
kind of
forward.
evolve into my overall coaching, you know, my overall coaching philosophy moving forward.
Listen, man, I feel like the environment was so competitive. Um, the audacity of these other parents, like they were loud, boisterous, like you know what I'm saying. They were in your face. You know what I'm saying. They were cocky. I loved every minute of it because that's who we are. Like we're not that in that, but it's like we are definitely like we have a brash to us. You understand what I'm saying? And the fact that these other teams who look nothing like us have that same amount of, I can't believe this team have the audacity to come in like they might do something to us.
Yeah.
Like, like they looking at us like we little dogs, and we're looking at y'all like y'all about to be in for a rude awakening.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
We're
So
looking at them like food.
we looking at them like food, and they're like the audacity. Who are these guys? We don't know these guys. Who do they come from? We never heard of y'all. We are who we are. So it's like, so like some teams we're like giving all the marbles to, you know what I'm saying? But these other uppity teams, they're like, yo, they coming in with their shoulders held high, expecting for things to be a walk for them. Oh no, we about to give you a run for that money. You understand what I'm saying? So the atmosphere, even with the music they play, like you can tell,
Yeah.
like they wasn't playing anything mild or meek. Like they was in your face with their walk up songs. They was in their face with their between the inning songs. You know what I'm saying? Like it was some my music louder than yours type, and this is what we're playing. Y'all need to get on our level. And I'm like,
I,
wait, this is
I
real
feel
hip
I
hoppy.
feel
Y'all
like we bow down a little bit to it too. I do feel like on Saturday, second game, the music wasn't popping the same.
don't.
It wasn't. Our
From
energy
our parents.
between innings wasn't the same. We
Mm,
had questions because of how it started, and didn't realize how close we were in that moment. I think you know what I mean. And same thing on Sunday. We didn't realize how close that 9-7 was, and they continued to stay in their energy, and
Yeah,
we kind of got nervous when it got close. And I think that started from coach down. You know what I mean? And we could have been a little bit more loose, even in the face of defeat. Like, Cam Newton gonna smile. If the score is 42-7, he get into the end zone, he's still gonna do the Superman celebration. We still have to keep our same
the
energy,
same mojo
mojo.
going. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
the Indiana
Like we
Pacers have
supposed to
been
be
down.
here.
The Indiana Pacers have been down by 20 plus points in every series this playoffs, and they've come back and had big games and big clutch shots every single time. And when I listened to Halliburton speak about it, it was we always believe we can win no matter what. So we just keep plugging away. It's never having to rush. It's 2 minutes left. We're down by 10. We're still not rushing. It's enough time. So it's
Yeah.
just about staying calm, not rushing. And I think, like I said, learned a lot from the experience today. Ty just said the link ain't working for him.
Oh, he got. Oh, you sent it to him. He
It
want to
was
jump in.
it was on a group me. He tried to no. We're talking about the link so you can watch
Oh, okay, yeah, man. He gonna have to fix his YouTube. But
it.
so how do you what does winning mean to our team at this point? Where we're at right now, like what does winning mean to us?
Yeah, Messi.
I'm talking about like the definition of winning, like what is success?
No, what does actual winning the game mean to our group of boys and to us as coaches at this point? What we're facing.
I mean, for me as a coach, winning a game is validation and a little bit of payback. I'll be honest with you, I got a bit of a chip on my shoulder about a lot of these things. Um, just politics, park, baseball, all that, man. So winning is a little bit of like, you know, putting it in their face. For the boys, um, man, I want the boys to get their fair shot to get their moment, you know? I mean, like, man, for me, already it's a lot of success. The fact that we're coming out here and coaches are asking about, oh, who's that? Oh, where'd y'all come from? And I mean, like, we're turning heads and we're doing a lot of things. And, I was doing the math today. It's 5 different parks that, we ended up pulling kids together from, to come out and compete against teams like OC Black that have been playing together for on their record. They've been playing together since 2024, but they've probably been same team, same kids, coaching them probably since they were like 5 or 6, and at least the same coaching staff, if not a similar coaching staff. So to come out of nowhere with, I mean, like how long we've been working the kids together fully?
A month.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
A month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just scrapping things together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I said this when we played Norcross Navy. I was like, yeah, imagine what we could do with 4 outfielders.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
We literally played them we played them with 9 players.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played them pretty tight that Saturday with 9 players, and we had to move some things around on Sunday. But yeah, I mean, like just imagine what we could do with some time under our belt,
Man,
And I mean, I think that's the hope here, and I think that's what winning gives us leash, right? Winning helps the belief. Winning validates the kids' hard work, and for us, or for me personally, it validates, our coaching acumen. Because if we are winning games, we are truly doing something special. Coming out of nowhere, scrapping it together, probably less time together than any other team out here at this point. For us to come out and just gain the respect that we've gained already, that's a win. Like, we have a lot of boxes checked, right? Don't want to rest on our laurels. Like, I don't want to qualify that as success. Being there for a ring game is the next step. You know what I mean? We're gold bracket every time. All right, that's cool. We expect that now. So now the next step is we need to be playing for a ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's going to be our next measure of success. And then the next measure will be winning one. You know what I mean? So hopefully we can knock out two birds with one stone. But at the end of the day, we're up against a lot this week. I like the conversations we've had so far about how we want to approach practice this week. I like the fact that I was able to take a licking and learn something. And I think just implementing all of those things, man. And from last week to this week, Massey pointed out to me, we got better, right?
Yeah.
Did we make base running errors? Did kids make base running errors this week?
We didn't make any base running errors?
No.
No, sir. Not one.
Coaches, we might have made one to send somebody or
no, I got a little aggressive. But you know what though? I like that aggressiveness because I expect him to be able to come out of that at some point. I expect a lot. We got about 6 kids that can get in a pickle and get out. But they don't. We got to practice it. We got to get in it. The more they get in it, before it'll be routine, we're like, yeah, we can play with you all day. You understand what I'm saying?
Funny enough, isn't that the name of the game, Massey?
That is the name of the game. That was my favorite game growing up because it's hard to find. It's hard to find 9 kids to go play a baseball game, but growing up, man, you could play pickle with 3 kids, so we could always get a game of pickle going. Yeah, and that was my favorite game growing up. So we figured, it's not as crucial of a development game to play, but that was something that we wanted to implement maybe towards the end of the season or in the fall, just depending on where we're at. It's not as crucial as some of the other drills that we want to work this week.
But I think it'll set us apart. I think that skill, which we have, I think we have the skill as a unit to do pickles and move and get out of them, be successful at the pickle thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, our kids are way too quick.
That skill set sets us apart from a lot of other teams that won't have that. They don't even have the opportunity to have that. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how
Norcross Navy, they didn't have an answer for our base running.
Yeah, they did.
And I mean, that lets you know how close we were. But same thing, now we have to look at it. Last week we tried to identify 3 issues, right? We identified 2 of them properly. Just unfortunately, due to weather, practice times, kind of moving things around, we didn't get in the number of pop fly reps that I would have wanted, but we really, really went hard on Monday on working with base running with the individuals who made those mistakes the week before. So when I look at metrics, did we get better? Yes, we got better. Did we get better in all the ways that we wanted to? No. So now, same time, same week, or same time the next week, I ask, and I'll start with you, Massey, again on this one. What are the three things that batting was the third thing? We worked on that as well. But what are the three things this week that you feel like cost us that game the most? And what can we improve upon this week that will make it noticeable that we got better from week to week? What are those factors?
Preparedness in the outfield.
Readiness,
Moving in on. Say that again.
readiness or preparedness?
Preparedness. You know what I mean? Just being locked in, and being ready to make a play. Being in the outfield is a very crucial part of the game.
So I'm gonna put a slash on that and say preparedness / readiness. You know what I mean? Like I prepared to make the right play mentally, but also
Yeah.
locked in where you are prep stepping when the ball goes up. I think that's something we have to force, because a lot of mistakes get mitigated and a lot of balls stay in the infield, or a lot of balls get played better in the outfield when guys are watching that ball come out of the pitcher's hand, watching that ball come off the bat, and they're reacting on the instant that ball is moving somewhere. I think it just gives us our best chances of success. So
you know what I noticed about this weekend though
what's going on?
is a lot of our outfielders did not let the ball get past us. I think we had 2 balls get past us where the outfielder's back was turned to the infield. And that's a huge improvement from the week before where kids was banging it and there was a lot of backs turned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a huge improvement. So the more we eliminate the outfielder's back end turn, stopping the ball, not letting it get too deep. Like there was big hits turned to singles on a regular basis. You understand what I'm saying? The next step for that for us would be those being outs.
Those being out.
Yeah. With those being, pop fly outs, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get into the level of competition just yet.
Well, we don't have to.
You know what I'm saying? That's something that's a question a little bit down the line. I kind of want to get into like the biggest plays though that were made over the weekend. And what do you think? Let
me wrap this real quick. So, readiness and preparedness of the outfield, fly balls, and then IQ. Just knowing where to throw the ball and when to throw the ball, and making sure that we're keeping the outs at a force.
IQ to keep.
Those would be the three things. Yeah.
We'll touch back on that in a minute with Fancher, but to answer your question about big plays, line drive at Jack on Sunday, bop, that one sticks out in my mind. That was a nice play.
It was a great play. Like that play right there was like I can't believe he just did that.
It was a sliding grab from Asa driving in on the 2. That was
there's a slide and grab from Pop to get us. I don't know if he got us out of the inning.
I said Pop had a slide and grab too on that pitch.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Man,
yeah,
I like the way our kids move, man. I really like the way our kids move.
You know what was crazy that we made look simple? That is really not simple at this level. The 3rd to 2. Come on, man.
Come to play as much against.
Come on, man.
As I would have liked, but against
we did it 3 times. We did it 3 times consistently, smooth,
3 of them,
ice cold. Like you know what I'm saying? It was like the way we're attacking the lead runner at this point is like it put tears in my eyes. That's next level. You know, they 7 years old, and we're getting lead runner on a regular basis. Like okay, plays out here, and we're going for 2. Like boom, we're going to go here, boom.
And we're actually attempting the 2. So I think, we both talked about it individually, but we get a chance to talk about it now. I think one of the things I want to implement this week in practice is when we're with regards to IQ, and I think we get a chance to answer or address a few things at one time if we're operating this way, but we need to address exactly what we're doing as a unit when the runner's on 1, right? And we need to work through the different scenarios. Ball lands in front of the outfielder. Ball lands behind the outfielder. And we all know what to do when the ball stays in the infield. Of course, continuing to rep those things won't hurt, but we need to address, in particular, a little bit of the catcher movements. And it's simple, but every play that the ball goes into the outfield, my catcher needs to be in front of the plate. Every time we yell 3, my pitcher needs to automatically go down to the third baseline. Every time we yell 2, my pitcher needs to be 6 to 10 feet behind my second baseman in whatever direction that ball is going in. Somewhere the cutoff will be there if it goes to the fence. We need to understand when to bypass the cutoff, which we worked on last week. So we're just continue to expand on those things. But I think we need to work on runner on 1 and 2, and then bases loaded. Just what exactly are we doing? How do we get that ball to 3? What's the best route? I like Noah and Charlie in right field right now. I was kind of working that in my head today, because if the ball drops in right field, both of those guys can make a throw on a dime to third base, and I think that counts. As far because I know everybody else can make it from center field, left field. Yeah, I don't know too many guys that can drop that thing on a dime from right field or right center. So I think kind of having those two in the range that they offer over there, I think that helps us out if our left center's strong enough. And then we just kind of, like I say, leave left field to somebody with a whole bunch of speed. But that's kind of where I want to address those things this week. I think that helps us IQ wise, pop fly wise, and then addressing that lead runner in specific, and just maybe letting that one go to make sure we keep those forces, which is IQ to keep the force, number 3.
What was our goal last week? What was the goal of the tournament last week?
Base running was one of them.
Yeah. Improve base running, improve pop flies, and improve batting.
Batting was definitely a must. That's one thing I realized in the first tournament, that these kids are banging. like circle don't get a whole lot of volume. You understand what I'm saying? Because these kids are banging, and it's a whole lot of pressure out to the outfield. You understand what I'm saying? So
one circle will get though. We gotta get them. That's
yeah.
Might not get a lot, but those are always important. Those are momentum builders for the other team. And
I will say though, the field we played on this past week ran a lot faster than the other fields because it was turf on the infield.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying, I don't know. I just want to throw that out there and make it aware, like, we can't look at this week versus the week before and go, oh yeah, man, we really goofed up on that. It's, well, different fields do different things. It's like the park that we came from was like playing arena ball because it was 125 feet.
So at this level, what do you think the sportsmanship is hitting for right now? Because amongst the parks, and or what are teams showing us, and what are we showing teams on sportsmanship currently?
I mean, I'm cordial with the parents. I'll yuck it up with some of them, have a good time. But I mean, when it's time to play, it's time to play, And I mean, man, I said something to Ty, I think, that first week, and we were playing Sandy Plains Cougars Red. And we made 3 of their kids cry, and, from injuries and stuff like that. We weren't mean. We weren't beating up on them or nothing like that. We were just doing our job, and they were having a hard time performing theirs. And I was like, I told Ty, I was like, I kind of feel bad for him. And he's like, man, don't, don't. Because if the role was reversed, they'd be putting their foot on your neck too. So, I mean,
I feel like it's a tough call for me, right? When it comes to sportsmanship, and this is why. I know what our kids do, right? I know what happens when they get hit, when they get hurt. Our kids is tough, and I really don't have the flexibility or the range to see another kid not be as strong. You know what I mean? Like it kind of bothers me. Like, all right, wrap this up. Like, let's go. So I would say that's my problem with sportsmanship at the moment, is that every kid not built for it tough. You understand what I'm saying? Like, some kids are, kids, and I get it. What I I'm struggling with it. We got a game to play, and holding the game up and stopping the momentum. 20 minutes.
Oh,
You
that
know what I
was
mean?
manufactured. That was 100%
It's crazy.
manufactured.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's somebody was saying that the first base coach told him to act like his foot was hurt. I mean,
Yeah,
if that's how you want to win games, that's how you want to win games, man. I mean,
no
those
shin
aren't
guards.
those are not the type of men I'm trying to raise.
Yeah.
I did notice that though. I think we're trying to stay on the up and up, trying not to complain too much to the refs, trying to keep things between the lines and control what we can control. I think in a week or two, as the referees continue to notice, or the Blues continue to notice, that's kind of our temperament. They notice that we're not being crazy on the kids. They notice that we're not causing contention. Maybe what parents do, we're keeping pretty good control of our parents. But as far as it's going to be some chirping back and forth in competitive games, and that's going to be from both sides. So I don't think there's anything there. It's just I think they'll start to give us a little bit of favor if we continue to be even keel, continue to just not bitch and moan too much. We fight for what's right. We make sure we draw awareness to the things we need to draw awareness to. But I did notice the Blue being a little chippy with us this weekend, and on that Sunday game. Didn't understand why, but I think we did a good job keeping our cool, and I really haven't.
There was a moment where I had to explain the Blue. He was like, "Yo, you being mad petty or whatever," and I was like, "Hey," I came up to him like, "Hey, I'm being petty. Don't take it personal. I'm not even telling you to react. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing them off because that's how petty they were with us yesterday." You know what I'm saying? Like he's like, "Oh, I get it. Keep doing your thing." You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah. Like if I'm chirping or whatever, like just don't pay me no mind. That's what
Is that
they
the
were
right
doing
ball?
yesterday.
Is that a juice
Huh?
ball?
Yeah.
You guys got a juice ball over there?
And the third base coach said something about their third base coach was like, we're just doing that to you because you guys were messing with us yesterday. And I'm like, hey, I don't know who started it, but I'm here for it. So
Yeah. It's just a little
think
thing. So that goes into the next question, right? What as we as coaches could have done better yesterday, over the weekend?
I think I'll start with being flexible, making shifts in the field a little bit quicker, just being a little bit more aware of who was coming up. As soon as they're coming up, making the shift. I tried to shift Nixon late one time because I recognized the kid from the day before, hit him a lollipop at third base, and Nixon started shit. He's looking at me and taking his 2 steps up as the ball gets hit, and he reacts late and drops in front of him. It's getting there early to those moments, making sure we handle our shifts early, being aware of who's coming up and where they might be hitting, just based on whatever prior experience we have. And I think this is more so on bracket day than pool day because we may be seeing somebody for the second time. So just doing our homework a little bit better in those regards and being a little bit more prepared for what hitters are coming up. That's something I noticed the other team doing. Making sure our guys are locked in, and that's a coaching flaw from weekly practice that bled into out there and kind of bled into the performance. So that's one thing. And like I said, just flexibility as far as positions and putting people in certain places for success. It worked out one inning, putting CJ out there in left field. He was able to make a good catch, or left center. It's just making sure we're looking at who's coming up. These 3 guys coming up, 4 guys, 5 guys coming up. I think it's going to be best to have this guy over here, and just kind of shifting things around accordingly and making sure multiple guys are comfortable playing multiple positions. We got to continue to implement that if we're going to have success, especially given the way we got hit bid that might get hired for somebody else, for another team for the weekend. We got to be sure we're covering all our bases there with versatility.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, you're basically talking about analytics. Who's going to be in charge of that in the heat of the game? I'm just saying. I mean, and I mean, the things that I'm noticing and the things that I can do in the moment is I can see where a kid's swinging. I can see how he's standing,
We
and
have
I
a
have
hell
a
of a
general
bookkeeper.
idea. Yeah, but I mean, just having somebody, And we don't have to have an answer to this question right now. It's a good question that we need an answer to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
From what and moms were doing it on the sideline. So
Say it again.
They're already doing it. Yeah, moms on the sideline are already kind of letting us know. We just got to listen to them a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the
I don't
analytics,
listen to my wife. You can ask her.
listen, like,
I'm
but
gonna need
no,
y'all's
it's
help.
come out like,
We going to
hey,
damn counselors about this shit.
no, some of the moms are like, hey, this is a big hitter, or this is that, or they hit to you last time, or like, you know what I'm saying? They hit over here. So I think having our ears to the street in the heat of the moment and not being over excited about what's going on, you know, just to stay open could help us. You know what I mean? It could be that one play. You know what I'm saying? So that, hey, this kid hit over here. I think we did a pretty good research. I think day 2, you know, after we sit and review, we do a decent job. You know what I mean? I think me personally, I over game plan, or I try to tap the well a little too much. You know what I'm saying? But I think it gave that the kid we were targeting a little too many reps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So eventually they're gonna make the play if all game they getting reps.
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth anything changing our batting lineup day 2 when we're playing as team for the second time that's already seen our first lineup?
So
we did that against this team. We didn't have Jack.
no.
Pop was in a different spot. So
But at the same time though, I think our batting lineup isn't to anybody else, it's to us. It's geared around us. And I understand people could make adjustments to what we do. I'm dependent on us to overcome. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you know we coming downhill, if we about to do the tush push, you know it's coming, we need to execute on it. You understand what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I feel about it.
Everybody won't be as maniacal as OC Black either, but we're not going to underestimate anybody. I like what you said there, and we do have to think about and consider that maybe flip-flopping a couple of our hitters that might hit in a particular direction. What it does is in a situation where they're used to shifting, or they might, or we have to look at our own thing as well and see, hey, we had 3 straight guys hit to left field. Maybe we want to stagger that with somebody who hits center. Maybe we want to stagger that with somebody.
So one thing that I noticed that OC Black did well, and I'll give kudos to the folks when they deserve it, is that they would have 2 kids hitting down third base line that were right-handed hitters, and then they'd follow it up with a left-handed hitter that would then hit it to the gap. So now the only thing that we had to do was to throw to 1 because we weren't coaching throw to 3 and get the lead runner. And I say that I was trying to prep it over there. Whether or not it happened, it didn't happen twice, and I mean, and that resulted in probably 4 runs, which is a lot. That's a lot.
That was the difference. That was the difference in the points.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was 2 throws home that hurt us. And it wasn't. It's one of those situations where we got to just maintain the philosophy. If force outs are going to be the most important, 3 needs to be because 3 gives us.
But going back to maybe try and implement a little bit more with our left-handed hitters.
True.
Maybe trying to shoot that gap, to screw up other teams.
I tried. Like there's one kid that I was purposely trying to get to hit to the left, like go oppo, and they kept pulling the ball. I'm like, bro, I don't know how you're pulling an outside pitch that you're not even supposed to be hitting. Like, please hit to the third baseman. like I am trying my hardest to pitch to him on the outside outer plate, and he is still pulling the ball.
I mean, but that's the thing though. If I'm preaching, get it out front, and if we're coming with a little less velocity, I gotta anticipate pulling the ball. Like I actually have to anticipate that. So now, rather than try to get a oppo shot from anybody, we need to look at the fact that not only do we have 1, 2, we got 2 legit left-hand hitters, right?
3.
Yeah.
So, who's the third? Pop, Jack, and who else?
We don't got another lefty.
So that's where
No,
No.
Mason comes
Nixon
into
can
play
go left a little bit.
because of we put out. It'll be hard to pull it out with this level of competition, but if absolutely need
Yeah.
be, and we little streak, we got a couple of guys that can come in and mix it up on that left side. If it's a situation where, hey, I got a runner on second and third with you coming up, rather than you hit a dribbler to first, I want you to try to pull something through that first baseline.
Yeah.
So like Mason can actually drag something from that left side and pull it. So that gives us a third guy. And like I said, we had a possible with Knicks that we might be able to pull out an emergency situation if we have runner on 2 and 3, and we know we need something hot going down that right field line. It's worth the shot to implement the left-handed ability that we have from a couple other guys. And not only that, that throws the heck out of any type of game plan somebody had for your kid.
Yeah.
So maybe,
No,
so that being said, do we move around the batting lineup a little bit? Because I know Jack was batting 2.
Just a touch, I think so. And I think this week will determine exactly where we go with it. Just seeing what can be improved. Because I think we're on the same page as far as with Jack and everything, as far as how he needs a little tweak. And that little tweak he makes, those things are gonna start flying over first baseman's head.
Yeah.
So we gotta think about, we have to see who makes that little tweak and that little improvement this week and utilize that little improvement to our advantage to maybe put one on base, like with Quest on base and Jack hitting the ball. Week
It's
1,
points.
even on Saturday. On Saturday, Jack was ripping those things right over first base head, automatic points.
That reminds me of another thing that I wanted to talk about. The runners need to pick me up about 8 foot in front of 2.
Yes.
I can't tell you. There's probably about 3 times, 4 times where kids got to 2 and then looked and they stopped and they lost all their momentum. Man, we got enough speed. We can go first to third.
Yeah.
We can go first to third, man, all day long.
I try to prep them for that.
Slide.
Like while I'm pitching, I'm like, hey, I'll look at him like, I need you to get the third on this hit. Like that's your goal. Like we're not stopping at 2.
Yeah.
I need you to get the third.
The issue was, to our demise, they played their second baseman very, very close, or they played their shortstop very, very close to second base.
They did.
Tried to hit that damn gap like 20 times. We tried to hit that gap, and the day before that gap was working for us.
No, it was the day before that I knew the gap wasn't.
Well,
and that's why the plan was to go up the third baseline.
When we had our first run of points, he wasn't as close to second base. After that first run of points, he made a slide, and he stayed in that spot because we weren't really hitting that left field gap with grounders. We were hitting left field gap with fly balls.
Yeah.
Drives. So instead of him even worrying about playing that gap, he's 2 steps over.
He's basically behind second.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
again, kudos, good adjustment, things that we can't be afraid to do in the moment based on what batters up, based on, like Massey said, how they feet set up, how they swinging the ball, where they foul off to. Hey, he just went that way. You, boom, boom, boom. And guys got to be attentive and moving quickly.
One thing.
So, walking, we can't have it.
One thing that we can do, and we can do this from the pitcher's mound while throwing pitches, if we see them set up a certain way, tell the kids to move forward or backwards in the box. You move forward, now you're coming early, and it's getting more towards that third base side.
You move back.
Right, because you're meeting that ball sooner.
The only thing about that first base, typically the first baseman is probably the best fielder on squads, man. I'd be so terrified to hit something at a first baseman because they normally can just grab it up, you know what I'm saying? Unless we're going RBI with it and we got some speed on base. I'm normally nervous about hitting the first base line.
Well, I mean, sometimes we got to utilize the RBI situation, man. You know, if we got a kid that just hadn't been able to get a solid hit out to the outfield or something and everything's staying inside, maybe we got to say, all right, I need you to back up a little bit in the box and make that hit down to first base if we've got runners at, first and second, and try and score a couple. And if it gets past him, great, you know what I mean? But it's a thought. It's a thought.
First base, you have good gloves, bad mobility. So if you make a move, you know what I mean? If we're hitting gap, it ain't too many second basemen that got good glove side work that are gonna really, not from what I've seen out of the competition lately. You know, so I think increased velocity. So even the hits that are coming straight at them are coming hotter. You know what I mean? Everything got to increase in intensity just a little bit to make it a little more difficult on the other team. Give us a little bit more velocity.
I had that backwards, moving up and going backwards in terms of which side they were going.
We followed you.
I apologize.
Box actually has you pull the ball through more because you get a chance to get further through your swing.
Yeah, you get some. Yeah, my fault. You're right.
Off right field.
So, what's exciting you got about the tournament coming up this weekend?
Competition.
What you got, Mess?
Competition.
Man, I'm excited for 3 solid days practice this week with a full squad and a full squad of kids that we can utilize and implement all over that field, and being able to put in, whatever kind of, weapons wherever we want them, as opposed to, oh man, we're down this guy. Oh man, we're down that guy. That's what excites me the most about this weekend. Is I think this is going to be a really good measure. Because we're going to be playing some B squads, man. We're in a straight B bracket. So
no sir.
A squads. A squads.
They put us in the A B bracket, sir. So
yeah.
about 5 of
all right. Well,
this weekend are 18. And
they put us in the A B bracket. Yo, it's time to go.
In there with us, but everybody else is an A or a B squad, sir.
And we're C.
One of them actually played some travel stuff going on in the spring. I looked up everybody. And it's gonna like when you take a look at the competition this week.
Woo!
My blood is pumping just thinking about, hey man, we can't take an inning off this weekend.
No, we gotta have our absolute A game, dog.
There's no team on the list because it's not North Gwinnett Nationals. This is a North Gwinnett A team that we're gonna play. It's like 5, 6 A teams out of the 14 team bracket. It's about to be some chimney smoking. It's about to be some good competition.
So it's kind of like, we got to do our best coaching this week. Like even next week, we're not going to see the level of competition. This is going to be the height of what we got going on, and how we look this weekend, what we survive through, what we come out with. It's going to be a huge testament of who we are moving forward. Come the fall, spring, who the Black Sox are for the rest of whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to make us or break us.
Yeah, we get a chance to really get it. We have an opportunity to make bones this weekend. And when I say make bones, I mean lay waste to a team that could pave the way for having a reputation. We have an opportunity to gain a reputation this weekend. Call us David, call them Goliath for right now. But they just don't know yet. You know what I mean? But we can slay the giant this weekend. And I truly believe how close we played those other teams and how those other teams have fared against some of these teams. We will be in the mix. And if we don't get whooped up by the bracket, and we, get a chance to,
they gonna whoop us though. They gonna put us in a slot. We're supposed to be the dog food. Like that's how I see it.
Maybe so. But what I mean by that is, everybody, NYO ended up with that number 1 seed because they got 2 cupcakes, right? And they didn't allow a lot of runs. We didn't get that opportunity, nor did OC Black, because we put up points against each other. We put up 9. They put up 14 against us. We shut that first team down. They allowed 5 or 6 to that first team. We ended up somewhere similar in the run differential. But that's what got us in that gold bracket was we didn't allow a lot of points and we had a good run differential. So coming into this one, win, lose, or draw, it's just I would like to have a competitive team and it may be a team that they think is equally yoked to us, which we tend to do very, very, very well against those. So giving us that point differential, even if we do slide a 1-1, I want to be in that gold bracket on Sunday and give
Always.
you know what I mean? Because that's what we are right now, man. We're a gold bracket team, and I think that's what we're going to stay even throughout this tournament this weekend. I have a very firm belief we're going to be able to stay a gold bracket team and push for a ring. That's what I want to do. I don't care who we're going against. I think we got that opportunity.
What you think, Massey? Because
Massey, yeah, man, it's gonna change.
I hadn't looked at them like that, man. I read North Gwinnett and I was like, "What's the national side?" And that 18-2 made me feel good. You know what I mean? Like, all right, so you know, maybe that's the caliber of team that we're seeing. I mean,
North
and
Gwinnett,
I mean, I seen some other ones on there. Say it again.
North Gwinnett is not with us.
Nah, this is the.
Oh no, that's not the same North Gwinnett.
The North
and that team is
that's what I was
saying.
They not even
confirmed yet.
That's what gave me the false advertising. Listen,
we got both NYO. We got the best of NYO, Bulls and Toros.
Yep.
So I say this, you know, I mean, if we go out there, win, lose, or draw, man, if we compete, right? If we compete against AB squads this weekend, that puts us in very good stead for week 4 and 5.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because, I mean, like, for me, man, an average day is a great day because I've had some really bad ones. You know what I mean? It just makes you stronger, man. It makes you tougher, man, when you go through adversity. You know, so for our kids to go through this adversity and walk out the other side, yeah, I mean, I hope we compete, man. I hope we get to the gold bracket. I'd like to see that. I don't know the caliber of team that we're playing, like I said. I mean, y'all talking them up pretty serious, but any way you shake it, win, lose, or draw, as long as we're competitive, we keep our spirits high and we try and execute and perform like we're training to do, they're going to come out the other side that much stronger because, you know, you don't know what you can do until you do it, man. And you don't know if you're good until you go against great. You don't know if you're great until you go against the best. You don't know you're the best until you beat the rest.
And we get to find that out this week, man. Hey, Hillbilly Soccer Team strikes again.
Yeah. That's the way to end it right there, man. I like how you just said it, man. Man, this is the coach's review, man, and next week we'll let you know how this thing go. Hit you guys up in a second.
Next Monday, man. Thank you, guys.
All right, yeah.
See y'all.